you know, after every show, someone always stops me and says, "Are you really an accountant?" Who the hell would lie about being an accountant? People lie about being doctors, they lie about being movie directors. Nobody lies about being an accountant, except for maybe John. And I have to tell you, it's great to be back in America. I spent last week in Wisconsin. Holy crap. But when I was over there, I was able to sit down and compare and contrast our two states. For instance, Wisconsin, the land of 10,000 corner bars and 1 million happy drunks. Got Minnesota, the land of 10,000 treatment centers and 1 million pissed off alcoholics. In Wisconsin, you got the Green Bay Packers and 13 national championships. In Minnesota, you got the Vikings and a small stack of participation ribbons. In Wisconsin, you got Brett Favre and 2 Super Bowl appearances. In Minnesota, we have Brett Favre taking pictures of his wiener. I am the second funniest accountant in America. Who's the funniest accountant in America?
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. That's right, Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart. He started comedy just after he started doing accounting, and he bailed on accounting. But 3 months after he started doing a comedy, he produced a comedy album that went to #1 on the Billboard charts. Pretty amazing. I've been doing comedy for 8 years. I got 64 hits on my YouTube video. Oh, man. You know, and I was always known I was going to be a CPA ever since my mom bronzed my first pair of wingtips. In grade school, the nuns made me the auditor of the school lunch program. Anybody go to Catholic grade school? Yeah, where'd you go, ma'am? St. Stephen's? Yeah. I went to Our Lady of Perpetual Torture. That's where I met Sister Mary Margaret. Sister Mary Margaret, a giant woman dressed in all black. She looked like a ninja. We called her the Nunja. Sister Mary Margaret, she would hide weapons in that burqa that she wore. She could throw an eraser like a Chinese star. I once saw her sever a kid's arm clean off. His punishment for bleeding all over the ground? He had to clap erasers. Sister Mary Margaret. She took 2 rulers, chained them together, had the first nunchucks. But she had that one secret weapon stuffed up her sleeve, that chloroform-filled Kleenex. Little Johnny screwing around in the back. She'd wander back there, cup over his nose. He'd struggle a little bit. Boom! He'd be out till the bus came. But everything I am today, I know Sister Mary Margaret. I'm great at math. I can spell anything, and I'm afraid of large women in black dresses. Developed my business skills by playing Monopoly. Monopoly's great. You know, you buy a house, develop a hotel. It had a get-out-of-jail-free card. Tom Petters is looking for that. But the best part about playing Monopoly here in Minnesota is I'd always win, because people in Minnesota would buy their first house, and then they spend the rest of the game finishing the basement. I had a scary Halloween costume as a kid, too. I used to dress up in a short-sleeved white shirt, skinny black tie, pocket protector, carry a briefcase, go door to door. Trick or treat! The guy looked at me, well, what are you supposed to be? I'm an IRS agent. That would scare the hell out of him. He said, well, what do you want? Give me 40% of your candy. Then I leave without saying thank you. I did go to college, major in accounting as a way to meet chicks. Found women went to college to meet anybody but an accountant. You think my time in the chess club would have taught me something? Who likes having their tax return prepared? Yeah, nobody. I had a lady come to me once, she said, I hate having my tax return prepared as much as I hate going to the dentist or having a pap smear. Anatomically, I knew exactly where I stood. Somewhere between here and here. I had to explain to her, I'm the only one keeping the IRS out of the other orifice. I looked at my client base to find a mate, and I started charting both personal financial information about my clients. Put together a pretty good list of several female clients, and one really rich guy is willing to take a shot at. Met my wife preparing tax returns. You know, she met all the criteria: steadily climbing income, moderate deductions, and above all, a nice rack. My wife was never excited about the fact that I was an accountant either. And then I came home one day and said, "Honey, I'm going to quit my job doing accounting to be a stand-up comic." Oh, that set her off. She finally calmed down. She said, "You know, you're just having a midlife crisis." She says, "Why don't you go out and buy a Harley or have an affair like everybody else?" I didn't know I had a choice. And we've been bickering lately. The economy stinks. We need to save some money. And I came home one day and said, "Honey, you know, if you know how to cook and clean, we could fire the baby." And I got that silence. She says, "You know, if you know how to make love, we could get rid of the gardener and the pool boy." And we don't even have a pool. I was in Vegas recently. I got to open for Louis Anderson out there, which was really cool. Just before I went on stage, I stopped my wife and said, "In your wildest dreams, would you ever imagine me opening for Louis Anderson?" She said, "You're not in my wildest dreams." Anybody been to Vegas lately?
Yo.
Yeah? Did you play the Obama slot machine while you're out there? Never found that? Yeah. You must not have been looking very good. It was over in the corner, big sign up that said, "Change." Put in your hard-earned dollars and get you back quarters. Played it for 3 hours. Barely broke even. Oh man, Vegas is great. I went to Vegas. I got to perform an accounting conference out there called Nerdfest. And there it was at the grand ballroom of the Bellagio, 1,000 CPAs in the room. Just before I went on stage, another guy stopped me. He says, "Do you realize you're the funniest accountant in this room?" I think that's pretty cool. He goes, "Yeah, that's like kind of like being the smartest Kardashian." You know, I've watched the success that Jeff Foxworthy's had in the Blue Collar Comedy Tour. Decided to start the White Collar Comedy Tour. Instead of telling redneck jokes, I'm going to have to tell white collar jokes. You're going to be like, "If your new wife is younger than your daughter, you might be white collar. If your attorney and your stockbroker share the same prison cell, you might be white collar. If the difference between your BMW and a porcupine is on a porcupine, the pricks are on the outside, you might be white collar." And the White Collar Comedy Tour would start visiting white collar prisons because they're filling up, folks. You know, you got Tom Peters, Bernie Madoff. We got a Minnesota car dealer doing the penitentiary tour. And you saw Danny got married to his girlfriend, Christy Rowan, over the phone. Called her up with the phone. Got married to Christy. And they went to her and they said, "Christy, why would you marry Danny?" And he said, "I wanted to be the bride of a convict." They had to explain to her that in Denny's short time in jail, he'd already become the bride of a convict. It's the screwing you got for the screwing you gave, right? The holidays are here, which is okay. It starts out before Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving, they start out, we just got done with election season, and now we're into Thanksgiving, and the first thing they do is start running those news stories about the Kmart workers and the Walmart workers that have to work on Thanksgiving. And these people are all upset, and you just go, shouldn't they be more upset that they're working at Kmart than Walmart? Lots of you there, sorry. Okay, we're at the Mall of America. My wife loses her credit card, right? Somebody steals her credit card. Pretty disturbing. I waited a little bit before I reported it because I found the thief was spending less money than she was. I turned 50 recently. 50's great. Because when you turn 50, you get what? Your AARP membership card. Yeah. I get discounts on hearing aids, the scooter store, and Cracker Barrel. None of which I need, and I'm regular enough not to have to go to Cracker Barrel. Place you call the gravy barrel, right? And probably I walk around with a big ton of gravy. Hey, you want some gravy on that? You want some gravy on that? It's like, I'm still in the store. Cracker Barrel serving white gravy to old white people, and you wonder why they call it Cracker Barrel. 50s, your kids come home. Okay. My daughter returns from college with a child. Turns out she wants to marry him. She comes home with a diploma and a boyfriend. The diploma hangs on the wall, the boyfriend lays on the couch. So I got this freeloader in my basement with a couch stuck to his ass. My wife, I'm down there one day vacuuming, and he calls me over and says, "Hey Scott, can you come over and sit down because I can't get up?" So I sit down and lean over to him, and he says, "Scott, I'd like to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage." And guys, I got that lump right there. Turned out to be a vomit ball. So now she's got a fiance. And fiance is a French term for destroyer of all that's pure and innocent. He bought her the big rock, or as I refer to it, the zirconium speck. Anytime she sees anybody, she says, "Oh, you want to see my diamond? You want to see my diamond?" I wish I could. My biggest fear is that I can't walk her down the aisle and give her away to a guy with a couch stuck to his ass. We find a ton of stuff like that. Oh, man. My other daughter returns from college on her 21st birthday. I said, "Dad, can I get a party bus?" "Party bus?" I said, "You've got 2 friends. What do you need a party bus for?" The night of her birthday, she's on there, 75 people in my front yard. We throw them on a bus and we send them downtown Minneapolis to Sneaky Pete's. Who's been to Sneaky Pete's? Oh, this is What do they have there? What do they have there? Stripper poles, that's right. Now, Sneaky Pete's is not a strip club, but they have stripper poles there. And why do they have stripper poles there? So creepy old men can watch young girls dance. You're absolutely correct. My wife says we should go downtown and celebrate our daughter's 21st birthday and buy her her first alcoholic beverage. It can happen. But I said, "Honey, it's 9:30, and at our age, 9:30 is the new midnight." So we hop in the car, we head downtown Minneapolis, we go to walk into Sneaky Pete's, turn and look, and there's my daughter working the pole. Couldn't have been prouder. And I'm thinking, 18 years of dance lessons finally paid off. My wife and I just celebrated our 30th anniversary. Who's got long anniversaries? And there we go. How many years?
22.
22 years, yeah. We're 30, and it's just amazing, except that technology has passed us by. You know, our house is now full of iPods, iPads, iPhones, smart TVs, which is also an oxymoron. And we got remotes for everything. You got a remote for the TV, one for the fireplace, you got 2 for the shades, and it's mind-boggling. And to the point that my wife is just struggling with it. She just can't keep up with all the remotes. She called me at work one day, she says, "You know, I can't get the television on." I said, "Yeah, I know, honey, because the neighbor called and said the garage door was going up and down." West Side. We got a treat. Oh man, where do we want to go? Anybody read the obituaries every day? I do. Yeah. I'm always looking for estate tax deals and deals on real estate. But you know, the obituaries have changed over the years. It used to be, you know, just a little short paragraph, and then they added pictures, right? They added pictures to the obituaries. Now they usually have a picture of the man when he's in a service uniform and one in a current picture. Or a lady in their dapper hats, but the current pictures are sometimes too current. Because sometimes you see the guy with hearing aids sticking out of his ear, a lady with the oxygen tube in her nose. I thought one picture was a little too current. The guy was holding defibrillator pedals. The other thing about obituaries, you should be able to read them and you know, figure out how the person passed away. You know, it's usually by accident or by illness. But the one, the obituary, the cause of death that I get confused on is the misadventure. Amy Winehouse died of misadventure. Misadventure can can be anything from being swept off a wave by a rock, by a wave into the ocean, to the toilet seat falling on the back of your head. Now, I was reading an obituary recently of one of the last 3 World War I veterans to pass away. He was 106 years old. Amazing. But it said, cause of death unknown. We'll have to figure this out for you, Quincy. You could have said, cause of death 106. Cause of death ran out of things to do. Or cause of death, I wonder, misadventure maybe. Husband came home too early. You know, I've seen a lot of weird tax deductions over the years, and I had a guy come in once. He wanted to know if he could get an exemption for his potbelly pig. Told him, sorry, you can't claim my son-in-law. I got a guy come in once, and he wanted to get a charitable deduction for his sperm donation. Told him Goodwill's not accepting. Unless you leave it on the couch. But I had a lady come in once and she wanted to know if she could get a tax deduction for her breast implants. This I'm going to look up. I went out the internet, or onto the Internal Revenue Service, looked it up, and didn't find a whole lot. Went out on the internet, typed in breast implants, had 3 billion hits. Spent all summer going through them, battling the case of carpal tunnel. The end of the summer, I called back in. The taxpayer's name was Chesty Love. Chesty Love. These things were big. They were big and distracting. They distracting to the point that Chesty was a client of mine for 5 years before I realized that she was missing an eye and had a wooden leg. The end of the summer, I called her back in and I said, you know, Ms. Love, this is kind of a gray area, but in order to be able to deduct those breast implants, I'm going to need to see them. She had huge deductions that year. Some people call them capital gains. Each year she comes back, we check for depreciation. I'm Scott Kadrlick, CPA.